Preps. Everyone wants to talk about preps. You got cases of freeze-dried meals, Alpine Air, Mountain House, all that stuff. Several cases in my closet, along with some extra ammo. Lots of canned goods, some dry goods, more dry goods, more dry goods. Idaho and potatoes, Bear Creek soups, dry soups. You got the Weilers, Mrs. Grass, dry soups, canned goods, more canned goods. My kippers, delicious. Spare sauces, things like that, broth. Do have Spam, more stuff, a bunch of rice up behind, bouillon packets, your peanut butter, cooking things, and separated because I'm gluten-free, the lady is not, so got our own little things, lots of tuna packs, all kinds of stuff. Lingonberry jam, Swedish goodness, lingonberries, love that stuff because it does not grow here, and you can't get it. Plenty of goods. So, just a little video kind of showing some of the prep stuff. Every time I go to the grocery store, I always make sure to buy a little bit of extra of things, extra bits of canned goods here and there, dry goods stuff, you know, things like that. That's a lot of cabinet space that I have full. And it's taken some time to build some of that store up because, again, it's just a little bit here and there to build up that stock. Because some of the shelves, especially the canned goods, like above the range and stuff, like I have those all marked and labeled E for emergency food. The other cabinets, you know, some of the top shelf, like with all the dry goods, like the potato stuff and the dry soup packs and things like that, and like a lot of that's emergency stuff. Sometimes we'll get the potato stuff, you know, for cooking with whatever. A lot of the time, especially if you have power failure for an extended period of time, or you know, for an undetermined length of time or whatever, you got to get through all your cold stuff that's in your fridge and everything first. So that's going to be the first stuff to go. So then all that dry goods stuff, you know, that's going to have to last you, you know, a while. So between that and then the emergency freeze-dried meals, the camping meals and things like that, like, just kind of gives you an idea of how much you should be stocking up. I'm not in a big place either. It's just myself and the girlfriend, my fiance. You know, for the two of us, we have enough food here to last us a couple of months, you know. If you're not stocking food like that, you're kind of behind the curve. Like, you should have a minimum of about two months worth of emergency food. I mean, we've got more than that even, but with limited amount of space, and I make space in, you know, my side of the closet and everything, you know, for extra food, and then some areas to store water and things like that. Like, you know, you can maximize the space that you have in a small apartment like what I'm in, and be able to be prepared. You know, so this is for the folks that live in a city as much as somebody who may live in a small cabin out there, you know, wherever, you know. So just giving you some ideas. Plenty of tote space as well, where you can also fill up some totes of dry goods, long-term shelf-stable stuff, and store it in totes, kind of tucked away, or even in your storage unit in your apartment building or whatever, if you have that. We don't here, so it's whatever we have in our apartment. So just kind of giving you an idea, like, we've got, you know, those are a lot of good preps to have. You have a wide range of things. You need to have your fruits and vegetables just as much as all the other typical things that you see for storage, food storage for emergency planning and things like that, you know, and just to try and help save money in the long run. You know, when you do have a little bit of extra money coming in here and there, put it towards, you know, food and things like that, and of course other things. But like in batteries and stuff, you know, got plenty of those too. But like things like that, you know. And I've got a number of tools and things like that, you know, so I can fix whatever I need to, you know. And if I don't have the knowledge on how to fix something, I know somebody that does, you know, so it's always that community effort there too. But I digress. When it comes to the food prep stuff and all those things, like, you can be very practical about it, um, and be able to build up a good reserve of stock of food for yourself. Because again, got quite a bit, you know, and I'm not making this video because of recent disaster events and stuff. I talk about this stuff a lot and have for a long time on my channel, and you know, podcast live streams with people and everything like that about disaster preparedness. And it's like, it's easy to do if you're just financially cognizant and smart about where you're appropriating those funds. You know, can't have livestock in an apartment, obviously. You know, there are community gardens here. The city I live in, for the time being, is a very green city. There are community gardens. There's a lot of farmland around here too, and like I've said in prior videos, I make friends with the farmers too, so I have access to fresh livestock food if I need to, and crop food and things like that, apart from out in the wild as well, because there's excellent hunting and abundant wildlife here. I live in a very resource-rich area, and a lot of fresh water too. So I mean, apart from Minnesota, we have a lot of, you know, Minnesota being a neighbor, but we have a lot of fresh water here, a lot of lakes, rivers, and all that stuff. So there's no deficit of potable fresh water. But I do have some stored up. But for another tip with water stuff, just real quick for people, in emergency situations, you know, when you're starting to lose power, fill your bathtub up. And you can at least use that for washing, hygiene, things like that, flushing the toilet when you need to and stuff. It is potable too, as long as your tub's clean, relatively, you know. That will be potable, the amount of water that you can keep in your tub there. Apart from what you have in water jug storage and things like that. So this is just an example of a more urban sense of preparedness, you know, and for a lot of people, you know, it's, you know, that's just how it is. You live in a city or a larger town. There's a lot of people, but you may not have a lot of space per se, but you can capitalize on the space that you do have in that context. So just wanted to make a video on that, and hopefully people start to get a little bit more wise about adequately preparing for stuff and storing things high and dry, you know. With the example, as we've seen with flooding and storm surges and things like that, you know, a lot of stuff on ground levels in buildings gets flooded out and all that. So, you know, high and dry. So store it higher if it's not in waterproofing receptacles and things like that on a ground level or in a root cellar or whatever. You got to store it high and dry. You know, so that's how it is. So just wanted to make a video on that kind of thing. So yeah, that's about it. So everyone stay safe and just be smart and keep getting after it. So metal up. Out.